Chapter 91 Cooperation. You are listening at NovelsReturning. After walking out of the dormitory and looking at the rising red sun, Tao Yu couldn't help but stretch. However, he did not practice boxing first. Instead, he went to his two cars and took a look, seeing that Xiaohei was still staying in the cab honestly and that there were no signs of damage to either car. Tao Yu also nodded. "Hold on a little longer, and I'll take you to eat zombies when we get out of the city." Tao Yu comforted Xiaohei, touched its head and gave it a reward. Because of Sun Shiqing's words, it would be difficult for him to go out for transportation before getting a reply. As a war weapon like an alien, Xiaohei has a very high tolerance. It doesn't matter if he is hungry for 10 days and half a month. He doesn't care at all after 1 or 2 meals. After being rewarded by Tao Yu, he slumped in the cab. Li didn't want to move anymore. After confirming the safety of his property, Tao Yucai slowly started practicing boxing on the spot. Since you have enough willpower, you can't waste time. It's too early now, and it's not good to harass them right away. As time went by, the current residents of the base began to gradually come out, the survivors started another day's work, and a few pioneers also came out. A few people even saw Tao Yu practicing boxing here, and others were watching and even making secret gestures. Tao Yu didn't pay much attention to these things and just finished his actions. If one could learn the 5 forms of Wanlu by just watching, then the tuition for this skill would not be so expensive. Wanlu 5 forms. Brother Tao is very capable. Have you practiced before? That some familiar voices came, and Tao Yu also saw Panda, the inner city pioneer. At this time, there was already a group of people around him, including the pioneers, but more of them were the group of speedsters from last time. Brother Panda is so complimentary. Tao Yu smiled slightly and said hello to Panda, but his hand movements did not stop at all, and even his words did not affect his breathing rhythm. I won't praise people randomly. Looking at you like this, you should be able to grasp the energy and blood of the 5 forms in one. You should have already grasped it. Panda hesitated for a moment, feeling a little unsure. Many abilities cannot be seen just by looking at them. He could only tell that Tao Yu was very skilled. This was something he only became familiar with after having practiced it with someone he knew. Miss Sun gave me more rewards, otherwise it wouldn't have been so smooth. Tao Yu's answer did not surprise Panda. After all, the first batch in the new development area had only awakened their talents for 2 months. The accumulation in the outer city would not have been so fast if there was no windfall. While everything is busy now, we are also planning to go to Las Vegas. Brother Tao, are you interested in joining us? Panda took another look at Tao Yu's 2 cars. Having purchased Tao Yu's goods twice, he also knew that these 2 cars were real treasures. I'm so greedy. There is another car that seems to belong to a friend of the chosen one. This income really makes him a little jealous even as an inner city pioneer. No, Master Sun still has something to ask me today. Tao Yu's words made Panda feel shocked. It seems that this kid has really caught the attention of the 2 of them. It's just that the mission and reward from the first time didn't make Master Sun worry about him again and ask questions. There must be something else going on. It seems that we really need to treat them as equals. The gap between the inner city and the outer city is big, but it is far less than the gap between the inner city and the floating city. If you are really appreciated, you can solve many problems with just 1 sentence. Well, it's like this. I asked Brother Tao last time. I actually want to get some trucks, but this kind of truck is different from ours. It's quite troublesome to drive. After Panda made a decision in his mind, he told the truth, making Tao Yu understand the purpose of his coming. Panda came here mainly to discuss Judy's affairs. It was not poaching, but he wanted to borrow a car to go to the city first, and then teach his people how to drive a truck. Don't worry, the reward will not be small. I am willing to pay 2,000 willpower a day. The reward given by Panda was very sincere. A trip to Las Vegas requires at least 2 or 3 days of loading and round trip, which is equivalent to his willingness to pay 4,000 to 6,000 yuan. Based on yesterday's 3 cars of 8,000 yuan, 1 car can transport it back. You can't even get your money back. It should be mainly to learn driving skills and then exchange for some scarce supplies. In that case, I want to cultivate a competitor. Tao Yu smiled hoarsely, slowly began to withdraw his movements, and exhaled, but then the conversation changed again. But Brother Panda is very particular about people. Just treat it as a friend. I personally agree. I will ask her for her opinion. Thank you, Brother Tao. If you encounter anything in the future, you can come to me directly. Panda had a look of surprise on his face. When he first heard Tao Yu say, competitor, he was really a little confused. When it comes to interests, there is really nothing to say in rejecting him. He asked himself about this rare opportunity, and he also wanted to eat alone for a while. Teaching others is nothing more than cultivating competitors. But I didn't expect that the other party agreed after he pointed it out. Then the relationship was indeed accepted. After all, the other party could have a relationship with the Sun family and could not be viewed as an ordinary outsider city pioneer. Tao Yu actually thought a lot about doing this. Truck driving skills are difficult to say, but generally speaking, he will definitely be able to find them later. There is no blockage. There is no way to truly achieve a monopoly. Competitors will only become more and more the more. It's better to cooperate to evacuate Las Vegas before more people come. I don't have a problem. I rely on trucks to make a living. This is much better than moving corpses. Judy didn't hesitate. She was driving anyway. Although it was a bit risky, she knew that she would still be protected for now. Okay, the profit this time. I can't use my willpower, so all the profits should be given to the boss. Judy answered first, making Tao Yu couldn't help but look at her a few more times, pondered for a moment and then nodded. Good. Tao Yu didn't make any promises, but there was no doubt that he would protect her at the base from now on. At this time, Panda next to him also smiled and said. It's a very wise choice. With so much unabsorbed willpower, even at the base, we can't prevent someone from taking risks. For you ordinary people, safety is the first priority. Tao Yu was willing to give him face, so of course he didn't mind speaking for Tao Yu at this time. That's what I thought too. Having witnessed the darkness of the world, even though this base claims to maintain basic order, Judy still wants to hug her thigh. Truck driving is not a rare skill. That is to say, there are few people now, so we should take advantage of the opportunity to get some shelter. Protect them both, and stay in the cab if nothing happens. After everything was ready, Tao Yu also made arrangements for Xiao He. Except for Judy, Tao Yu found Tommy again. The truck was also empty. Since he was going to pull goods, he would pull another truck. For Panda, there is actually not much difference in the difficulty between escorting one vehicle and escorting multiple vehicles. His original intention was to build a convoy, so of course he readily agreed. Brother Tao, if not, let's work together directly to finish moving the valuable things in Las Vegas before more people come. After Tao Yu called Tommy and arranged for a black escort, Panda seemed to have made up his mind and came to Tao Yu to continue discussing the issue of in-depth cooperation. The last time he told Tao Yu, he asked Tao Yu to follow him and join his team, but this time, they directly said cooperation, and they were obviously on an equal footing. This made Tao Yu also feel a little interested and raised his eyebrows. What kind of cooperation method? That if you want to join, forget it. I have no interest in giving myself multiple fathers, but if you want to cooperate and speed up the transportation of valuable things, then Tao Yu really has no objection. High-value supplies in Las Vegas are also limited. The other party has the identity of an inner-city pioneer, and his reputation is much greater than his own, and many things are much easier to deal with. Your current 2 vehicles and the 2 drivers you hired will be regarded as your original shares, and I will recruit people to form a subsequent fleet and be responsible for the daily transportation of the fleet. Brother Tao Yu, you will come in when you are free. Panda thought for a moment, then stretched out a fist and said. I guarantee that the income you will receive in the first month will not be less than 100,000 yuan, and in the second month it will not be less than 50,000 yuan. Hearing this, Tao Yu looked at Panda formally. This guy has a lot of brushes. Tao Yu came on her own, even if she kept borrowing Tommy, and even if she hired an extra truck to carry the goods continuously, it would be difficult for her to earn an income of 100,000 yuan after a month of hard work. After all, the efficiency of this kind of capital-free buying and selling will only become lower and lower as supplies decrease, according to him. When he has something to do, he can still do his own thing, and there is more flexibility, and Panda obviously cannot lose money in making such a promise. As an inner-city pioneer, he calls on some pioneers, and then tames the speedsters, and eventually a large fleet of more than 10 trucks may be formed. The efficiency of each move is far more than that. It is really possible to seize the opportunity to catch all the high-value items in Las Vegas. As a native of the outer city, Tao Yu is inherently unable to compete with Panda in this aspect. If the two sides really competed and formed a team, they would not be able to win. On the contrary, if it dragged on for too long, the pioneers who came to share the cake would become worse. Come more and more, that's why we promised a minimum guarantee of 100,000 in the first month, but only 50,000 in the second month. Okay, I'll ask Master Sun to be a witness. He should also be very satisfied with the increase in the base's supplies. Of course Tao Yu would not naively believe in any verbal promises, but he believed in Sun Shiqing's cards. There happened to be issues about Jingguan and corpse refining. He would definitely not refuse the information he had just submitted, which was incidentally and indeed beneficial to the base. Good. Panda didn't even think about going back on his word, because according to his estimation, he could earn more. The location of the base has been determined, the nearest cities are these, and the total number of high-value materials is limited. The money is not so easy to earn later, and you need to travel long distances. This wealth is definitely a huge amount of income for Panda, an inner-city pioneer. This is the opportunity for the new development area. Chapter 92 Corpse Farm. You are listening at NovelsReturning. It's a very good idea. We will bring a registration terminal next time we come here, and we will complete information exchange with the current world. You can register a company. Based on the current situation in the new development area, we will temporarily exempt taxes and provide corresponding tasks. Rewards and points. Sun Shiqing readily agreed to Tao Yu's request for help. Now the new gathering place is in need of renovation, everything is missing. It all depends on the pioneers to carry materials back and forth, and the time interval and the amount of transportation are too slow. It is definitely better to use local materials in Las Vegas. Master Sun said that Brother Tao and I will register a transportation company when the time comes. With a body size of 2.3 meters, Panda should have been like a little giant in front of Sun Shiqing, but at this time, he made himself squat as much as possible, showing quite humility. Tao Yu next to him looked a little sideways. It was obvious that this guy was quite aggressive when he came to stop the car for the first time. The contrast is really quite big, judging from Sun Shiqing's appearance. She seemed to be accustomed to this situation. Well, you go ahead. I have something to do with him. Sun Shiqing waved Panda away indifferently, then turned her head to look at Tao Yu, raised her pretty eyebrows and smiled. Have you started meditating? No, I'm a bit stupid and need guidance. Tao Yu replied without hesitation, my eyes are brighter, that's my gift of dynamic vision. Huh, you are so brave. Let's go. My sister and I discussed it and we are going to solve the problem today. You are with us. Good. Tao Yu didn't ask for any conditions and acted obediently. Don't worry, you will be rewarded based on the specific situation. I never worry about that. Tao Yu's chest thumped loudly, however, although there was an element of acting, considering the current heroic spirit of the Sun siblings, he really wasn't worried, regardless of whether it's willingness or skills. I don't dislike it. In this way, Tao Yu followed Sun Shiqing to the door of their residence, while Sun Shiyu had already changed into a tight-fitting combat uniform and was playing with the suspended motorboat there, as if he was adjusting something. After seeing the two people coming back, he also glanced back at Tao Yu and asked the same question. Getting started? No, it should be his talent. His eyes look a little bright. Tao Yu did not answer, but Sun Shiqing explained. No, I've wasted so much effort, just try hard. Sun Shiyu seemed a little dissatisfied, but she didn't say anything more and got on the suspended motorboat. Tao Yu caught a glimpse of Sun Shiyu's curves riding a motorboat, and was also thinking that if she took him there, it would feel good on the road, but of course he couldn't say anything inappropriate at this time. After Sun Shiqing patted his shoulder, he followed Sun Shiqing's motorboat and watched Sun Shiyu take the lead on the motorboat soaring into the sky. Isn't it a bit regretful? Sun Shiqing glanced at Tao Yu with a smile. Her smile was beautiful. Ahem, Master Sun is joking. Seriously, if you are at max level, you can try it, but don't blame me if your leg is broken. Sun Shiqing shrugged and got on the motorboat. Tao Yu quickly rode behind him, hugged his waist, and then leaned into his ear and asked quietly. What does your sister like? You must at least be able to beat her in one aspect. I think long-distance sniping is pretty good. Learn more related skills. Tao Yu was also thoughtful after hearing Sun Shiqing's words. Maybe this is just the young master trying to win over a highly talented person like himself who is innocent, but it is indeed possible to try. Fasten your seatbelt and sit tight. As Tao Yu fastened the safety buckle, the motorboat soared directly into the sky. The pushing feeling on his back made Tao Yu have to increase the strength of his hands to stabilize it. Looking at Sun Shiqing's back in front of her, Tao Yu actually breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, it was the back. In fact, this kid is really good looking. If you keep staring at his face, you will easily think of his sister. Then Tao Yu thought of a previous topic on the internet. Nantong and you sleep together, do you choose to face him front or back? After shaking off some goosebumps, Tao Yu also began to look down at the scenery below from the air. There was only strong wind blowing in my ears, but the motorboat itself was quite quiet, more like a metaphysical anti-gravity. Although Tao Yu had flown on an airplane before and had seen a lot of high-altitude video images, it was still completely different compared to the vision of flying directly in the air on a motorboat. This is much more exciting. It's no wonder that wingsuit flying is so dangerous and some people do it. It's really exciting. Tao Yu felt the flapping of the airflow and liked this feeling very much, but it's a pity that this kind of suspended motorboat looks very expensive at first glance. It's almost time to arrive. Where do you think the core position is? Sun Shiqing slowed down, floated next to Sun Shiyu who had stopped in front, and then asked Tao Yu. By this time, both parties had arrived over Las Vegas. From an overhead perspective, you can see the distribution of those Beijing sites more clearly. Tao Yu put one hand around Sun Shiqing's waist and fixed it, while looking around to determine the place, then pointed to a location and said. If there is no accident, that park is where the death energy of the whole city is gathered under the influence of Jingguan. It is an excellent place to raise corpses. Okay, let's go there. Wait a moment. Tao Yu first stopped the two of them, looked up at Yang Yang and said. Wait until 10 p.m. when the sun is the brightest before taking action. Even if there are difficult things, there will be some restrictions. Tao Yu's own zombies no longer have this weakness after receiving the blessing of deification, but zombies in the regular way, at least at the level of corpse refining technique, are unavoidable. Although the two Sun family members are indeed very strong, it is better to be cautious in the abyss. Good. The Sun siblings obviously showed no arrogance and were cautious in their actions in the fragments. Since Tao Yu said so as the owner of the skill, they would listen to the advice. Well, if there is a chance to solve the trouble, I don't know if I can make use of this land and regard it as my reward. Tao Yu took the opportunity to express her request. You can use it if you want. We won't dismantle those Jingguan buildings yet. We'll let you know when you're done with them. Sun Shiyu seemed very indifferent, and neither of them cared much about the incident. If it is really a big hidden danger that has been solved, then we will say hello to the Wanlu Dojo when we go back this time, and you can go directly and learn the breathing method. Hearing this, Tao Yu once again felt the power of the rich woman. But you have to be aware that your resources are limited, and the characteristics of your talents are also very obvious. It is best to use your talents as the core to build your abilities. Don't waste too much on other aspects, as it is easy to lose more than you gain. Sun Shiyu then reminded Tao Yu, the reason why she used meditation as a choice before was because she felt that this ability was more suitable for dynamic vision. The 5 forms of Wanlu and even the matching breathing methods are all about the physical body. It takes a lot of effort to practice non-physical talents. Ahem, actually I think so too. but I think it's also very important to have a healthy body and not be a hindrance. Tao Yu opened her eyes and told lies. If you have the opportunity to exchange for a better gun, your upper limit is actually based on the weapon. You won't even ask for it. Seeing Tao Yu like this, Sun Shiyu seemed to shake her head helplessly. However, Tao Yu didn't find anything wrong with her suggestion. Even now, my most convenient daily ability is actually to use a gun. In close combat, it is used for bursts. The final word, the effect of the warlord-equipped gun, is actually very good, but if you use the channels of the two siblings, you may be able to get some more powerful ones. Just because of the problem of skill deification, Tao Yu's resources are mainly invested in himself. In terms of props, it depends on extra rewards and incidental licks. Chapter 93, Clean and Neat, thanks to the God of Liberation Leader. You are listening at NovelsReturning. Las Vegas has plenty of sunshine. Although the precipitation is low throughout the year, it has the best water source nearby. The park has not been maintained for most of the year. At this time, the plants have also experienced barbaric growth under the sufficient sunshine. Becomes green in a hurry, it's just that it's 10 minutes at noon, when the scorching sunshine is at its hottest, but there's still an inexplicable feeling of eeriness and coldness in the park. Two suspended motorboats passed over the sky, and even the well-informed Sun siblings were a little surprised when they felt the chill in their bodies. A very magical method, somewhat similar to undead magic. Sun Shiqing in front of Tao Yu said thoughtfully. This made Tao Yu immediately climb up the pole and ask for advice. Undead magic? Is it the ability from the old gathering place? The ability in a complete world that has not been pulled into the abyss, but has just been captured, is very strong, but it is not connected to our gathering place of Xingyao. It is some intelligence news coming from the state capital. This kind of news is unknown to many people in the outer city and perhaps even the inner city, but to Sun Shiqing, it doesn't matter if she talks about it casually. Do we still have contact with the state capital? Tao Yu asked curiously again. He has seen the convoys coming back from crossing the gray fog a few times. Anyway, the overall image is quite embarrassing and bad. There are probably not many ways to keep in touch with Xingyao City at present. Yes. In fact, when the Abyss invasion was not so serious in the past, we could complete teleportation in this world, but now we can no longer afford the cost. We can only exchange some intelligence information, and for supplies, we can only rely on crossing the gray fog. Tao Yu keenly captured the key words, and then asked. This world? Is it possible to teleport in the abyss? You can if you are willing to pay a sufficient price, but it requires corresponding equipment. Our Xingyao only has a set in the old gathering place. At this point, Sun Shiqing paused and continued. If our development here goes smoothly and it is deemed valuable enough, we may go to the state capital to apply for relevant equipment. Since the two tycoons of the Sun family were like this when it came to price, Tao Yu also knew that at least there was no need to consider related issues for now, but Xingyao still has some foundation. After just a few casual chats, Tao Yu also accompanied the two of them to the place he judged to be the best place to raise corpses. In fact, Tao Yu didn't need to take the initiative to introduce it, because compared to the overgrown weeds and green shade nearby, the corpse-raising area was completely bare within an area of at least 1 acre, and only black soil could be seen. Just looking at it makes strangers feel sick. It seems that your corpse refining technique has good potential. I wonder if this can be used. Sun Shiyu, who was riding side by side, now had a hint of interest on his face, looking down at the black land below. Then Sun Shiyu and Sun Shiqing looked at each other, turned back and said to Tao Yu. You are too weak, stay in the sky and watch. Good. Although he was called a weakling in person, Tao Yu did not refute. If you can solve it on your own, why would you ask for help? Asking them to take action was the original purpose. Then, he saw the 7 strange weapons of the two siblings flying out of the motorboat quickly, and the two of them stepped on one of the weapons in almost synchronized movements. This image is just as cool as Yu Jian. However, judging from their daily use of motorboats for transportation, it should be very expensive. the next moment, the other 6 weapons of each turned into streams of light, inserted upside down on the Black Jedi in a strange shape. Zitzi. Each of the 12 weapons inserted upside down emitted a burst of dazzling electric light. Then Razor swam away, and the naked eye could see the electric light connecting the weapons to each other. Roar. The black soil shattered, and a figure burst out of the ground. It was a zombie covered in black hair. Even under the scorching sun at noon, he was able to move freely. This is really, the next moment, the 12 weapons inserted upside down rose into the air one after another and fired at various angles. Before Tao Yu could finish thinking about it, he saw the weapons being inserted into the zombie at the same time. And then bloom again, boomed up. The black-haired zombie that just jumped out was torn into pieces and no one was left alive. A strong and disgusting odor emerged, causing both siblings to frown and pull up the distance, return to the motorboat, and then quickly pull up. The poison is very strong, and it is indeed very troublesome. Are you sure you want to refine the corpse in this position? Sun Shiqing said to Tao Yu while recalling the weapon and letting it float away from her around the motorboat. Sure, I'm somewhat resistant to poison. Only then did Tao Yu recover from their neat movements. Although it has always been confirmed that these two guys are very strong, the explosion of telekinesis in the dormitory yesterday was already reflected. Now I see a zombie that has been nurtured by the death energy of the city. It disappears as soon as I meet it, and I can't help but feel shocked in my heart. Do you think this thing is nothing because of our quick action? Although Sun Shiqing was driving the motorboat with her back to Tao Yu, she seemed to know what he was thinking. I can tell you that if your corpse refining technique can be practiced to the extreme to have this effect, then you may even enter the floating city in the future. Chasing my sister is not an empty talk. After saying that, he stopped the motorboat again, then summoned a weapon and placed it near Tao Yu. As soon as the weapon came over, the stench hit his face, and then Tao Yu was surprised to find that the surface of the weapon with a sense of technology and weirdness seemed to have some black vein-like lines, but they were being decomposed by electric light. Suppress, that stinky smell is the smell after the electric light decomposes those black blood vessels. It's very strong. If it weren't for us, all the pioneers we encountered would have died. On the other side, Sun Shiyu also approached on a motorboat, then drew a weapon and seemed to bring up the zombie's head. It should be the product of the gathering of willpower. Sun Shiyu didn't mind it being dirty, so she directly picked up the wishful head in her hand, and seemed to be sensing it with her eyes closed. Maybe she also had some identification skills. I have complete skills, but the pollution is too serious. I don't even know how much it would cost to take it back and clean it up. Then she looked back at Tao Yu and said, "Did your kid absorb the same skills?" "Well, I'm not sure. After all, that's a zombie that can be killed by me. It's nothing compared to this." "That's true, you are really lucky." Sun Shiyu nodded. Luck is an extremely important factor in activities in the abyss. You have relevant experience. Is this the only one nearby? Yeah, but I'm not sure the corpse keeper is around. Tao Yu also wanted them to search and eliminate risks. We will look for it nearby in the next few days, but there is a high probability that it will not be there. If the world is infected. Sun Shiyu expressed his judgment, and at the same time his words were somewhat solemn. If every city of this size had something similar, even the two of them would probably have to run away if such a zombie army eventually formed. It should be the luck thief who did it. Sun Shiqing also expressed her guess. Reflecting the value here early and allowing the company to invest more is the best solution. Truth is always written by strength. As long as your side is strong enough, you can deal with any problem. It has only been 2 months since they awakened their talents, and they have already reached this level of strength. Although the explosive period of improvement may have passed in the future, it will be difficult to achieve this kind of growth and growth efficiency, but with their resources here, the improvement speed will not be slow. I really don't know whose side time is on. Chapter 94 Return. You are listening at NovelsReturning. Find a way to come back after you're done, but don't die. Sun Shiqing threw Tao Yu directly on the corpse-raising ground. Master Sun, don't forget to tell Panda for me. I know, if you're going to stay for a long time, it's best to come back first to avoid going crazy. Okay. I may take the time to go back alone and bring the mission terminal over. If you have any problems, you can come to me. I will also let you know at Wanlu Dojo. Thank you very much. Tao Yu stood on the ground and waved to the two people in the sky with a smile. Don't forget the meditation technique. Sun Shiyu also gave a casual reminder. If you don't understand later, please ask Miss Sun for advice. Then the two siblings directly pulled up the motorboat and drove away. Tao Yu began to collect the scattered zombie corpses. These were excellent nutrients and could save him time. While collecting the corpses, Tao Yu was speechless. In addition to being able to sense the poisonous reminder, even those black hairs are like steel needles. I am afraid that bullets hitting these black hairs will not be able to break through the defense. This is enough to show the strength of the two siblings. Now that we have the meditation technique, the corpse refining technique has also passed the test. In fact, we can actually bring 2 more zombies. After Tao Yu put away all the body parts, he looked at the black land in front of him and felt that it would be a waste to only train Chao Shaolin. After all, the second period would only take 49 days, refining one thing for such a long time. In a place like this, ordinary corpses can probably make good zombies. It is true that I have to go back first. I can learn the breathing method of Wanlu 5 forms by the way. But Xiaohei won't have any problems for such a long time, right? Tao Yu thought of aliens. He wasn't worried about Xiaohei. It was just an alien, and if it was beaten to death, it would be killed. He was worried that it would hurt Tommy and Judy when it got out of control. Then Tao Yu also thought about the position he saw in the sky before, and looked back at the intercom on his side. They should be entering the city soon. Find a place within reach of the signal and let Xiaohei out and let him come by himself. I have to go back anyway, so I'm not in a hurry. In a shopping mall, Tao Yu stuffed some things into her backpack that she was going to take back, and pressed the intercom again, and this time a reply came quickly from the intercom. Boss? Thought it was Judy's voice. It's me. I have something to do and I have to stay in the city for a while. You open the window and let Xiaohei out and let him come to me. Oh well. Tell Panda that I may not be able to accompany you during this period. Master Sun just passed by and came down to talk about this matter. Panda has no objection. After hearing this, Tao Yu also had a smile on his face. If it is an ordinary cooperation, and one party acts as the boss, it is actually quite easy to be cheated. A simple operation of various data can show losses, or less profit, but since Tao Yu took advantage of the opportunity to get involved in Sun Shiqing's tiger skin, at least he didn't have to worry about suffering a big loss in the short term. Maybe if I don't keep an eye on it, I will lose some benefits, but the key is that my time is freed up, and I can digest the wish power in my body while refining the corpse. In an abyss full of dangers, quickly improving one's strength is the right answer. I was planning to go back before, but various things delayed me. Tao Yu stuffed her backpack again, carried a folding wheelchair, and rode a heavy motorcycle. Looking at the scattered zombies on the street, she whistled to seduce them. Then a burst of snakeskin movement quickly opened the distance, and the black exhaust of the motorcycle sprayed the zombie's face. As for this, Xiaohei's figure had already appeared from the nearby roof and began to quickly follow Tao Yu's direction. Finally, we parked the car in front of the apartment building opposite the park. At this time, Xiaohei also came to Tao Yu and diligently swept away the 2 zombies at the door of the apartment building. That's right. Stay here for a few days and come back in 5 days. Tao Yu reached out and touched Xiaohei and gave him a reward. Go up and find a clean and safe empty room. Tao Yu waved to Xiaohei, and then saw Xiaohei, who had just received the reward, climb up the wall and quickly pick the place where Tao Yu would return. After seeing Xiaohei's head, Tao Yu squatted down, picked up the motorcycle, and carried it upstairs. Don't waste your share of carrying it back. Go back together on your motorcycle. Banged up back in his room. Tao Yu felt a little speechless when he saw that the small wooden bed that had been with him for many years was crushed by a motorcycle. The things you carry between the 2 worlds must be within the weight you can move freely, and there are also volume restrictions. Summons, pets, and mounts have a normal quota, but they need to be completely controlled. Now, because Xiao He has not yet reached this point, and Chao Shaolin has merged into the shadows and does not take up a quota, Tao Yu chose a motorcycle with the intention of not wasting money. However, because I was in my own bed when I set out, the simple little bed couldn't bear the weight and fell apart when I came back. It was originally made of bricks and wooden boards, but now I look down and feel a little speechless. All in all, the environment in the military camp at the end of the world is much better than at home. Tao Yu scratched his head and smelled a slight musty smell on the tip of his nose. After taking a thorough shower with soap, returning to this environment now feels like putting on dirty underwear again after taking a shower. Who is it? Is Yu back? The voice of the third brother came from next door, and Tao Yu even heard the sound of a bullet being loaded. The outer city is not peaceful, and the proper vigilance should be there. The third brother has been in the security team after all. Brother, it's me. Tao Yu answered. His parents should still be working in the abyss. If they don't change shifts, they will come back once a month for a 5-day vacation. This is the norm. If there is anything that needs to be contacted on weekdays, it is necessary to find a colleague who has returned to help pass the message. The kind of communication props that can directly communicate between the abyss and the present world are probably only owned by the Sun family siblings. Anyway, Tao Yu himself has never found similar things on the few inner-city pioneers he killed. This time you came back earlier than expected. Did you encounter anything? Tao Yu heard the sound of the third brother rolling the wheelchair, and then took the initiative to open the door, threw the motorcycle into the room first, and came out with the supplies. Seeing the third brother rolling the wooden rollers out of the room, a pistol was inserted on the side of his wheelchair, which was in a position that he could reach at any time. After seeing Tao Yu coming out, Tao Tong's somewhat dull face also had a smile. It's a good thing. I found the location of the gathering place, made a great contribution, and was rewarded with a lot of willpower. I came back to report the good news. The monthly willpower living expenses of the 6 people in the family do not even exceed 100. My parents also need some willpower to maintain their own status. Most of the daily food is brought back from the abyss and left over from working on the farm. I rarely spend willpower to buy. Although Tao Yu is not a wealthy man now, it is reasonable to take out some to improve the environment first, so he must also give willpower a reason. Just 1 or 2,000 can greatly improve the current situation of the family. If it weren't for my parents squeezing out 1,000 willpower units from their teeth, I'm afraid that no matter how good my talent is, it would be directly cold when I encountered that kind of ghost opening environment. As Tao Yu said, he put down the backpack and folding wheelchair on his back. Then he took out the folding wheelchair and assembled it quickly, and said to the third brother. Brother, look what good things I brought you. There are a lot of good things in the world. Fragments, I brought some back. First, he pushed the wheelchair in front of the third brother's somewhat old wooden wheelchair, and Tao Yu opened the backpack on his back, took out the clothes for the third brother, and some miscellaneous daily necessities. Chapter 95 Handover. You are listening at NovelsReturning. You've grown up. Tao Tong looked at what Tao Yu had brought back with a smile on his face. However, after looking at his empty legs, a trace of sadness flashed in his eyes, but he quickly said cheerfully. Hurry up, let me try this new thing. As he spoke, he reached out and patted the folding wheelchair. Then Tao Yu also took out a water bag cushion from the bag and placed it on the wheelchair. Put this on, let it breathe. Then he helped the third brother to move to the new wheelchair. Hey, it's really good, very flexible. Tao Tong sat in the wheelchair and rolled around twice, seeming very happy. Looking at the third brother's appearance, Tao Yu was also laughing beside him. I haven't seen the third brother so happy for a long time. Where is sister-in-law? Is she still at the farm? Has the stone come back? Lao Ba is helping out on the farm, so don't scold him all the time. Weren't you also such a naughty person before? No way. Tao Yu rejected the third brother's accusation and then began to change the topic. I'll push you over. No, I don't want to blow in the wind, it's dirty outside. As he finished speaking, Tao Tong took the gun and a dozen old newspapers from the original wooden wheelchair. They were all ink newspapers made of inferior materials, but they were what the third brother used to pass his time. If you want to say who is the most literate in the family, it must be the third brother. The outer city has been a little uneasy recently. It seems like the skeleton gang and the wild wolf gang are fighting for territory. Please be more careful. Tao Yu nodded after hearing the third brother's reminder. Their family didn't have money to order the day's newspapers, but when Shirtu went to Chaoyang Club to hang out, he often brought back some old newspapers. Although the news is somewhat delayed, it still allows their family to have a rough grasp of the situation. For example, if there is a gang fight recently, be careful. No wonder Shirtu isn't running around. That's why. Tao Yu did not forget to insult his little brother again. The Wild Wolf Gang and the Skeleton Gang are both gangs in their southern city. It is said that they have some complicated backgrounds behind them. For example, they are mainly responsible for the sale of happiness and some lower-level goods. There are also casinos and flesh and blood businesses, and their influence has expanded to those cities. 2 days ago when I was transporting goods, I ran into a fool who wanted to eat for free. He was from the Skeleton Gang. He is used to being arrogant and domineering in the outer city. However, Tao Yu is not too worried about this now. Not to mention his own A-level, dynamic vision. After the Li family was wiped out, Uncle who has now become the acting deputy captain of the security team, responsible for Nanqing district. The gangs themselves are competing for interests and cannot be confused. He opened a box of canned beef and stuffed it directly into the third brother's hand. Tao Yu also opened the door with the other 2 boxes. When I opened the door, I was greeted by the familiar smell of cow dung. It's a pity that after taking care of the farm for so many years, I haven't even eaten anything, so my sister-in-law and little brother also have a taste. When they arrived at the cow shed, Tao Yu saw Tao Shi trimming the cow's hooves with a file. His skillful movement seemed to relieve stress. Tao Shi seemed to have heard the movement when Tao Yu came in. Tao Shi looked up and was a little surprised when he found that it was Tao Yu. Brother, why are you back? It hasn't been a month, isn't it going well? Now the new development area is full of waste and there are many opportunities. Tao Yu said before that it is expected to be 1 month. I'm preparing to do something a few days in advance. I may not be back for a month or 2 by then. Be careful. If it goes on for a long time, be careful of going crazy. If you feel unwell, come back quickly. Tao Shi said with some worry that something happened to sixth sister. It's okay. I'm already pretty good. I've made great contributions and been appreciated by big shots. Tao Yu knew how to best comfort them. Sure enough, after speaking, Tao Shi became energetic and started asking about some experiences. Tao Yu also picked out some things she could talk about and talk to him. Although he has already been selected, Tao Yu's experience during this period is indeed far beyond what ordinary outer city pioneers should do. Tao Shi was shocked. Huh? You also met brother Lin Chao? Hee, can I go to him to brag next time? Okay, he's not bad. Tao Yu thought of the leader of the Chaoyang Club, who at least for now still had a pure heart. Brother, you are really developed. Your parents' decades of abyss life may not be as exciting as yours. There was some longing and expectation in Tao Shi's eyes. His parents have always taught him to be safe and sound, but Tao Shi, who is still in his prime of adolescence, doesn't like this. What's the point of a day when you can see your head at a glance? If you don't give it a try, are you still a young person? What nonsense are you talking about? It's not that our parents are safe. Whether we can still be born is a question. What is the mortality rate when going to the newly opened area now? Tao Yu rolled her eyes at her younger brother. If he wasn't his biological brother, he would really be too lazy to talk to him so much. Although Tao Yu didn't ask or make statistics, he could be sure that the survival rate of those who chose the new development area on the day of awakening would be less than 50%. I will still choose to fight there, and I will have some confidence and wealth. If this group of people were to move to the old development area, they would have a survival rate of at least 70%. Hey. Tao Shi started to laugh dryly, and then quickly changed the topic. Brother, are you going to get married? There are a lot of people asking about you recently. The cow sister you liked before is also asking about you. Tao Shi then winked again. Boys of this age may not be able to suppress their guns when they see a thigh. Tao Yu had a deep experience when he learned meditation with Sun Shiyu before. but even so, hearing Tao Shi say this still made Tao Yu feel like his toes were digging the ground. It is normal to have some ignorant aspirations in adolescence before the memory is completely integrated, but it is not normal after being brought up. What cow sister, don't talk nonsense, go and fix your hoof, I'm going to complete a few task registrations. Tao Yu threw 2 cans of beef cans to Tao Shi. Remember to leave 1 can for sister-in-law, don't eat it all. Tao Shi on the other side was curiously looking through the exquisitely crafted can packaging, and he didn't mind his hands getting dirty. He wiped his body twice and started to open the can, seeing the beef inside and smelling the aroma, his eyes lit up. Then his brother didn't want it anymore, so he picked up a piece and ate it happily, which made Tao Yu speechless. Then he turned and left. With an A-level talent, if his parents don't push him, there must be many people who care about him. However, after seeing the market, his eyesight naturally improved. Don't affect the speed of drawing the sword. Hello, Mr. Partner, your task has been uploaded and completed, and a total of 2,375 units of willpower have been obtained. In the task hall of the Hound City, Tao Yu enjoyed the exclusive reception treatment of the partner again. It was the same beautiful waitress from last time, and her eyes were almost spitting fire when she looked at Tao Yu. In less than a month, the task alone earned more than 2,000 yuan. It should have been a short time since he awakened, right? A super potential stock. Thank you. Tao Yu took the task completion certificate and reward certificate handed over by the other party and thanked him softly. No matter how small the mosquito is, it is still meat. Since the task he took on is done by the way, there is no reason not to reward it. In fact, from the task rewards, we can also see the opportunities everywhere in the new development area. However, it should be that the Sun family keeps pouring money into it, and there is no positive output for the time being. I don't know if that zombie head counts. In the eyes of the little beauty with regret, Tao Yu took the completion certificate of the task and the reward certificate and came to the reward collection place. Because the wish power can be absorbed, most of the rewards are collected here, and the staff at the window will also arrange employees under the age of 18 who cannot absorb the wish power. After checking Tao Yu's certificate, he watched the other party skillfully complete the weighing and handed over a small cloth bag with a metallic sound to Tao Yu. After Tao Yu absorbed it on the spot, he returned a small bag of wish power metal to the other party to complete the handover. In fact, this is the normal way for the outer city pioneers to get their wish power. Tao Yu's large amount of income directly from magnetic cards is abnormal. Even Tao Yu's current income of more than 2,000 is quite conspicuous in the outer city. Chapter 96. A Noble Person. You are listening at NovelsReturning. The freight and material tasks have already been released, and there are new exploration tasks. After Tao Yu completed the handover of the previous tasks, he also casually looked to see if there were any new tasks that could be done by the way, and at the same time looked at the task trends in the new development area. No matter how small a mosquito is, it is still meat, and it can also increase the points of the partners. If the points are enough and the strength is enough, you can participate in the promotion assessment and get some new privileges and conveniences. Just now there is someone to receive you individually, and you don't have to squeeze with others to grab tasks. In fact, it saves time and energy. Tao Yu even saw the biological alien implantation task on Pandora. The atmospheric components of Pandora are toxic to the human body. This should be to complete the new alien implantation and let some inner city people who are on the alien implantation route go to open up the wasteland. However, just as Tao Yu was observing here, suddenly a sturdy figure with a nose ring pushed away the people nearby and walked towards Tao Yu. Tao Yu originally increased his spiritual perception after the crane form was transformed, and with the blessing of Warlord's gun and the latest meditation technique, he knew in an instant that the purpose of the visitor was on him. Although there was not much malice, there was indeed some. This made Tao Yu raise his eyebrows and glance back at the other party, and saw the wolf head tattoo on the other party's chest that was deliberately exposed. Wild Wolf Gang. These gang members are really too rude. What's the matter? Tao Yu took the initiative to speak calmly when the other party came nearby and had not spoken yet. Tao Yu, right? Please come with me. There is a noble person who wants to see you. The sturdy figure grinned, revealing a mouthful of yellow teeth with 2 missing teeth, and a smell of bad breath that is very common among people from outside the city. Noble person. Who? Tao Yu frowned and took a step back because of the bad breath. However, in the eyes of the sturdy man, this was Tao Yu's retreat, and then he said with a little pride. This is not what you should ask, just come with me, I know you are A-level, dynamic vision, very potential, I don't want to use force. As he spoke, he rubbed his fists and made some cracking sounds. The situation here also attracted many people in the mission hall to look over. Many people were afraid when they saw this strong man, he must be a little famous here. Iron Fist, what are you doing? If you want to make trouble, go outside, this is not a place for you to run wild. At this time, a figure in combat uniform who was responsible for maintaining the order of the mission hall also came over. No matter what, this is the Hound Castle, and it is also the mission hall, some things on the surface will definitely be taken care of. What trouble, I just chat with my friends, it's just a little loud, you know me. Taiwan laughed, and then grinned at Tao Yu. Am I right? Brother Tao Yu. Tao Yu turned his head to look at the guard who came over, and asked with an innocent expression. He just threatened me, can I kill him? As soon as these words came out, Taiwan and the guard's expressions froze at the same time, and the pioneers who were fighting for tasks in the mission hall next to them all looked weird. Some people couldn't help laughing, not at Tao Yu, but at the Iron Fist who thought he had the situation under control. Few people who come here to take on tasks are law-abiding. I thought it was another day of the Wild Wolf gang bullying people, but I didn't expect to run into a tough guy. Well, we don't allow killing here, but if you take the initiative to threaten or provoke, you can fight back appropriately without being held accountable. The guard was held back by Tao Yu for a long time before he made a statement according to the rules of the outer city are loose, without strict rules and regulations. Tao Yu nodded, looked back at the sturdy Iron Fist and said softly. You did threaten me just now, didn't you? Threatened, so what? You kid won't eat toasts. Before the angry words fell, Tao Yu's elbow had already hit his abdomen, and the instantaneous impact made the Iron Fist's eyes almost pop out, then it turned into a tiger's palm and hit his chin, accompanied by a sound of bone cracking and a twisting vibration of his facial flesh. Taiwan's feet were off the ground, but just as he was rising, Tao Yu turned and chopped, raised one leg high, and pressed down on his shoulder like a battle axe, forcibly stopping the rising movement and nailing him. Back to the ground, the strong wind blew the clothes and made a rustling sound. The ground compacted by hard mud had slight cracks. After Tao Yu nailed the man, he slowly retracted his feet, then he patted the dust on his trouser legs, turned back and said politely to the guard. It was just a simple lesson, not dead. After that, he smiled and looked at Taiwan who had rolled his eyes and fainted in front of him and said. If you want to invite someone, please be polite. Then he waved his hand and left the mission hall directly. Good people are often bullied. In this kind of cannibalistic place, those who act like good people will have endless troubles. Only with certain talents, certain strengths, and tougher means can it be easier to stand firm and avoid some problems. Wait for others to make a move before counterattacking. Why can't I make a move first? The outer city is a very realistic place. Well, although Tao Yu made a clean move, he still weighed the pros and cons quickly with the thinking advantage brought by meditation. At least the nobleman mentioned by this minions can't be someone from the floating city. If he really came from there, it's impossible for the gang to come to him. It's normal for the captain of the security team to hit him in the face. At most, he is just a nobleman in the inner city, so he can't be that noble. After Tao Yu left, Taiwan, who was rolling his eyes, slowly fell backwards and then fell heavily to the ground. Many people whispered beside him. So strong. When did our village have such a strong man? Just now, were the tiger and ape forms among the 5 forms of Wanlu? They look very young. They can't be from the newly developed area. No way. Even the earliest batch is only 2 months old. Hey, isn't the Wild Wolf gang strong? They want to get involved in the business in the city. They deserve it. Keep your voice down, they are coming. Then 2 men with sullen faces hurried to the fallen Taiwan, first touched his neck, and then quickly checked his injuries. The more he checked, the gloomier his face became. Then another person brought a simple stretcher, hurriedly put the iron fist on it and dragged it away. Tao Yu did not say anything about waiting for the nobleman, but went to Wanlu Dojo. Now Sun Shiqing should not have come back yet, but Wanlu Dojo has an economical chi-replenishing soup, which makes it easy to train here, and it just happens to allow the dojo to verify the quality of the nobleman. If he can't even get around the dojo, then it is likely that he is not even the nobleman. In the inner city. Everyone knows that I am an A-level talent and I am so arrogant. It is impossible that the nobleman is just the leader of the wild wolf gang. Tao Yu pondered in his heart and came to the familiar door of the dojo. After training here for more than half a month, he is quite familiar with it. Now he can clearly hear that the training sounds inside are much louder. There are many more people at the registration office. It seems that the benefits of the new development area are still being arranged, although Tao Yu didn't know exactly how many people had entered the new development area in the past 2 months, and what the approximate ratio was. It should be at least more than 1,000, and it could be 2,000 or 3,000 if it was more. Brother Yi Wei, it's your turn again. Tao Yu looked at Yi Wei, who had a sullen face at the registration office, and smiled and greeted him. It was him when he first came to register, and they had some exchanges during the training, and they were considered nodding acquaintances. Brother Tao, you're back. Pretty fast, less than a month, right? Yi Wei was also a little surprised when he saw Tao Yu. He was still impressed by this new genius. At the beginning, they almost had some unpleasantness, and so far, among the students he had handled, Brother Tao was the fastest learner. Even Crane Form had reached level 3 and learned, swallowing Jin Gong. It can be said that this brother was originally aspiring to be a figure in the gym during this period. Chapter 97 The Curator's Thoughts. You are listening at NovelsReturning. Yeah, I have something to do when I come back. Let's take this time to digest it. Tao Yu responded to Yi Wei's inquiry with a smile. Would any door reach level 3 during this period? Yi Wei said jokingly. So be it. Really? Yi Wei was slightly startled. He was just joking, but he didn't expect it to be true. The other party was out of work before, and had sufficient dedication to practice with willing power, so it was normal for all the beginners to reach LV3 in one of them. Willing power is so magical in the first place, but didn't you go to the abyss to make money? Can you still find time to achieve this effect? Is this an A-level talent, but does dynamic vision have such a high bonus to the body? Yi Wei was a little confused for a moment. To say that dynamic vision is easy to get started with, he can understand it and can directly see and imitate movements, but it takes more effort to train. I'm lucky, I did something for a big shot. There are some things that don't need to be concealed, and even spreading the word can solve a lot of troubles. Tao Yu said it casually. That's really good luck. If a big shot in the inner city misses something, it will be enough for us to work hard for a long time. Yi Wei also had a look of envy on his face. There are many opportunities in newly developed areas. It's a pity that he has awakened long ago and has arrived in the old pioneer area, so he has no choice. Brother Smith. After Tao Yu entered the training ground, she saw Smith training freshmen on the cinder playground. Judging from the situation of the small class, there is a high probability that it is another group of people who come here for free. Junior brother Tao Yu. Huh, you came just in time. Come on, show me your skills. Smith saw a smile on Tao Yu's face, and then turned around and said to a group of people in front of him who were about the same age as Tao Yu. This is junior brother Tao Yu I'm talking to you about. The most talented students in the previous batches of yours have not only mastered the Zhuang Kung Fu, but have also mastered all 5 boxing techniques, and even hexing has reached level 3. Smith's words also made many students present look at Tao Yu curiously. Tao Yu learned skills here, and regardless of whether Smith was interested in his talent or not, he did take good care of him, so of course he would help him. Everyone should be from the newly opened area. Several skills in Wanlu Dojo are quite outstanding. If you can achieve the unity of 5 forms and even hold the energy and blood, this is the most helpful skill that can be learned publicly in our outer city. Don't waste this opportunity. As Tao Yu spoke, he also casually put on the crane shape, but he didn't show off in any way. He just finished a set with the training method under the effect of accelerating the willpower, but even if Tao Yu didn't activate his fist or anything, the fight was quite satisfactory, and it still surprised Smith next to him. Junior brother Tao, are you, level 4, Smith's strongest thing is the crane shape. It has reached the level of LV4 and can already create a charm, so he still has some appreciation ability. Although Tao Yu's crane shape is only level 3, the deified charm is indeed here. Yes, I was lucky. I helped a big shot and made a lot of money. I have to digest it well this time. Sooner or later, Tao Yu will have to learn the breathing method, and the 5-shape-in-1 will definitely become a star, and now he has given some preventive measures. Tao Yu's words also gained the envy of everyone. Senior brother Smith is busy, I'm going to practice. Go ahead, come on. Smith's face was also full of smiles. He was already very talented, and now he was lucky enough to make a lot of money. It was foreseeable that this junior brother's strength could improve, and this relationship must be maintained well. Envy. There must be some. Everyone's thoughts and ideas are very messy, but Smith's reason allows him to easily suppress this feeling of jealousy. Tao Yu came to the familiar canteen. He had long been familiar with the chefs in the canteen. The chefs in the canteen had long known his accelerated appetite. Tao Yu was also unscrupulous in his training. The effect of chi-boosting soup is much better than eating cans. Although it takes a little effort, it is completely worth it. No matter what, practicing off-duty is better than doing it on the side. What's more, now that I have enough willpower, I don't feel any pain when I accelerate. Tao Yu practiced until the evening. Sweat poured all over his body, and all the water in the chi-tonifying soup turned into sweat. The training efficiency indeed exceeds that of training in the abyss. You can feel the numbness in your body every moment, and feel the improvement in your lungs brought about by the basic breathing method after the second deification. The feeling that every pore in his body seemed to be breathing when he moved his hands and feet made Tao Yu so immersed in it that he couldn't feel the passage of time at all. The 5 shapes merge into one. It's really amazing. A sigh came from the side, and Tao Yu also slowly stopped his movements, exhaled, and then saw the middle-aged man with a complicated expression next to him. It is Lu Yi, the director of Wanlu Gym. Hello, Curator. When I first met Smith, he said that you were in crane form level 4, but I never imagined that you have already merged into 5 forms. It's amazing, amazing. Lu Yi looked at Tao Yu with a thoughtful look on his face. After a moment, he said to Tao Yu, Brother Tao, I'm coming to find you. Maybe you have something in mind. When Tao Yu heard this, he was really a little confused. What number? Is Sun Shiqing back? Say hello to you. Or did he send a message and come back to say hello? Or is it the person I fought in the mission hall before? Is that noble man at the back coming out? Ahem, please let the curator speak clearly. You are still a little too impulsive, but it is normal for young people, especially those of our generation who are practicing martial arts, to take a breath of fresh air in their hearts. It's just that the trap you stabbed is a bit big this time, and they have already found me. Louis shook his head dumbly, and his words also made Tao Yu understand the content of knowing what he knows. Then he nodded and said, I asked the guard before doing it, and he admitted it on the spot, so there should be no problem. There are not many detailed rules in the outer city, and they are all flexible. Tao Yu's few blows were harsh, but they were indeed compliant and reasonable. If it's just him, or even just the Wild Wolf gang, it's not a big deal. You are also connected in the security team. The acting deputy captain of the Southern District even came to me alone and asked me to take care of you. Lu Yi's words made Tao Yu stunned for a moment, but he didn't expect Uncle Hu to come over specially. I haven't gone to see him yet. As the acting deputy captain of the security team, Uncle Hu's main job now should be in this world, which is exactly the opposite of his parents. Well, Uncle Tiger is a very nice person. I wonder what happened this time, Tao Yu said as if asking for advice humbly. A pioneer of a new area in the inner city. Counting it at the same time as you. Although he was seriously injured and his future achievements will be affected, he is still from the inner city after all, and his network of connections is still there. Louis pondered for a moment, and then said to Tao Yu in a deep voice. But I admire your talent very much. If you are willing to join our Wanlu gym, then I can work with your Uncle Hu to resolve this matter, and you may even have a chance to learn the secrets of my gym that are not taught. There seemed to be a glimmer of light in Lu Yi's eyes, and he looked extremely energetic, just like Tao Yu, who was not sure about the meditation technique. When he first mastered it, Tao Yu could actually feel some of Lu's entanglements and good intentions. He probably thought this matter was very troublesome, but when he came to see him, he saw the 5 forms in one. He may have felt that his talent was very suitable for this genre, and that his potential was worth investing in. If this is normal, this is actually a good thing. Because the income from working in the dojo is actually not low. For example, Brother Smith and Yi Wei are serving the dojo, but now that Tao Yu has spread in a new development area, the opportunities and income there are obviously not comparable to those of the gym. For Tao Yu, who has extremely high demand for willing power, it is impossible to trap herself here. Looking at Lu Yi's eyes, Tao Yu couldn't help but sigh. He was a person who knew what was good and what was good. Even if the other person was like this because of his talent, it was still good intention, so he thought about it before saying. I am very grateful to the gym owner for his kindness. The gym has also been very helpful to me. I also like the environment of the gym very much. It's just that I need to help the 2 big shots in the floating city in the new development area. When Yi Wei and Smith were talking before, Tao Yu didn't say it directly, but the curator released this kind of kindness, and Tao Yu became more straightforward. These words made Lu Yi's pupils shrink, and the expression on his face was a little awkward for a moment, but he stabilized after a moment. You too from the floating city? That's because my temple is small. Congratulations. Lu Yi didn't seem to take Tao Yu's rejection to heart at all. Instead, he showed a congratulatory look. No wonder they mastered it so quickly. If it was the 2 of them, it would be normal. When I came back, I still enjoyed practicing in the gym, so if there is any nominal job or something like that, I will definitely be fine. Tao Yu reciprocated the favor. After all, he would definitely learn the breathing method at that time. In this way, having the status of being a direct descendant of the gymnasium would actually make the gym leader look good. Tao Yu's words also made the curator look at him meaningfully, and then smiled and said. Of course there is no problem. I even think that I can still regard you as a true disciple and have the opportunity to teach Wanlu breathing technique. This expression made Tao Yu smile awkwardly. It seems that I have been seen through. To be able to stand upright in the outer city and become one of the most outstanding dojos in the outer city, sitting in the Hound City walled city, the curator has also experienced strong winds and waves, so you can guess that it is normal. The Wanlu breathing technique is a secret that is not spread in the outer city. Even in the inner city, it is not considered a bad street, but for the 2 people in floating city, it was really just a matter of words. And the curator himself didn't say he would die, he just said, there is a chance. He is indeed a good person. As for the trouble he mentioned before. What trouble? As Tao Yu said, the trouble is actually the other side. Does the curator know anything about the noble man in the inner city? After all, Master's son may come back to get the terminal in 2 days, so I don't want to bother him with all these things. Tao Yu took advantage of the situation and asked again. He actually had some guesses in his mind, and the curator waved his hand indifferently at this time. You can't bother with everything. In fact, it's nothing. A broken-backed dog with limited achievements is just trying to save itself. Chapter 98, Taking Money from Others to Help Them Get Rid of Disasters. You are listening at NovelsReturning. Tao Yu originally had some guesses in his heart, but after hearing the curator's words, he was completely sure who the noble man, who was looking for him was. Why no? The survivor from the inner city who he formed a team with when he first entered the abyss, the one who was captured and parasitized by aliens and even managed to survive by force. Now it looks like he has been rescued. With such a serious injury, he can now jump up and down. The treatment level in the inner city is very high. Self-rescue. It seems that he should still be in the alien lair now. It has been more than a month, hasn't he been back yet? Tao Yu sighed. No, after all, the alien implant pioneers in the inner city, even if they are newcomers, are not weak in terms of strength obtained by relying on initial resources. 2 or 3 months more is not a big problem, but it cannot be delayed indefinitely. Louis smiled and knew who Tao Yu was. Brother Wei-Noa, hey, we formed a team together back then and got along pretty well. What a pity. Tao Yu looked a little regretful, at first. That bastard was jealous of me because of his poor talent, but he looked at me so hard that he had almost forgotten about it, and now he jumped out of the picture to look for it. TSK. Are you quite harmonious? The curator raised his eyebrows and didn't say much. He just pondered for a moment and then said. He is quite famous in our circle recently. The place where he is blocked should be very dangerous, and few people in the inner city are willing to take the risk to save him. So he is gathering people from the new development area in the outer city to form a team. He has used coercion and inducement to form a team. He has already integrated a group of people. Having said this, he glanced at Tao Yu again. I guess I have been targeting you for a long time, but you haven't come back. After all, you have an A-level talent, dynamic vision, and your combat power can be formed quickly, and your early warning ability is also strong. Tao Yu also understood Wei-Noa's situation when he heard this. In fact, both the inner city and the outer city are quite realistic places. Wei-Noa will also be jealous of himself. His talent is really not high, and it may have cost a lot of money to save him. He is not sure whether his family is still willing to invest in him. Even if there are a few friends, I'm afraid not many are willing to take the risk to help him, unless there are enough benefits there. There is definitely an alien queen, and there is also the Python alien, and the aliens he cultivated. Tao Yu had goosebumps thinking about this. Even with his current strength, when faced with the siege of a large group of ordinary aliens, he has to run first as a courtesy. If this is also mixed with giant Python aliens and parasitic Weno aliens, the risk is really high. With enough ammunition, enough manpower, and a well-trained group of people, you can reluctantly try, but the casualties and cost-effectiveness are hard to say. He has almost fallen out of favor. God knows how much money he can still spend, so it's a waste of money. We have already asked gangs like the Wild Wolf Gang for help. TSK, maybe he was the one stirring up trouble in the recent confrontation between the Wild Wolf Gang and the Skeleton Gang. Tao Yu thought for a moment and couldn't help but shook her head, then looked up at the curator and smiled. Director, did he send someone to come find you? Master of the Wild Wolf Gang, I still have some respect in the outer city. I just didn't want to offend them rashly. The curator also said it very honestly. If Tao Yu didn't have enough value, then of course he wouldn't wade into troubled waters. It's not worth it to cause a scandal. Even if he is a dog with a broken spine in the inner city, he is still a person from the inner city. Although the ability to do things is not good, the ability to do bad things is still there. It depends on what you want now. If you don't want to see me, just refuse. Louis didn't seem to care at all that Tao Yu was trying to deceive him. After all, he saw Tao Yu's 5 form-in-1 talent from the very beginning and wanted to intervene. It's okay without a big banner. It's also profitable to join your own gym system. Having enough value to intervene is completely different from the previous mentality of not wanting to cause trouble. Let's meet, no matter what. It's the same time, he doesn't just want my help in vain. Tao Yu has more choices and naturally has confidence. Wei-Noa wants him to help, so if the time is right, it's not impossible to help him, but he just doesn't know what price he can pay. The meeting place was Louis' own antique wooden house. Tao Yu also entered it for the first time. The interior decoration was very elegant, somewhat similar to a tea room. The master of the Wild Wolf Gang also completely overturned the inherent impression of the master in Tao Yu's mind. He is over 1.9 meters tall, with muscles all over his body. He looks very elastic at first glance, and his body fat percentage is very low, a little bit like Tao Yu's partner Panda, but Panda's 2-3 meter long physique was even more exaggerated than him. Maybe he is the most literate among the Wild Wolf Gang. That third brother can become a master. It's a bit slow. Master Muscle's eyes flickered. What, Master Jean wants to teach me how to do things? Louis' extremely domineering response made Master Muscle feel shuddered. and then he quickly lowered his stance. How dare you do this? Master Lu is the best in our outer city. Even if the gang leader comes, he won't dare to teach you how to do things. It's just that we are entrusted by others. While talking, he also saw Tao Yu, who followed him in, and then said, "This must be Brother Tao Yu. I'm sorry before, but the people in the gang don't understand the rules. Either way, he is a master, and his words sound better than the previous one. The attack was a bit harsh, I'm sorry." Even if there is no profit involved, Tao Yu will not take advantage of his words and express deep regret for the hypocrisy. Then he took the initiative to say, "The director probably told me about it before. Actually, you should have said it when you were looking for someone. Brother Wayno and I got along well at the beginning." Tao Yu's words made Master Jin's mouth twitch. It was because the employer said that they might have to be tougher that they acted like this. They should be a little unhappy, but he certainly wouldn't take the initiative to say it. Instead, he apologized again and admitted his previous rudeness, and then spoke. "So Brother Tao agreed. If the remuneration is in place, everything will be fine. Master Jin also knows the risks. I have to risk my life. If something unfortunate happens, I can also leave something for my family." Tao Yu's words made Master Jin a little bit angry. Does this mean that not only does the remuneration have to be in place, but it has to be paid first? It's not appropriate to ask for remuneration before discussing countermeasures. After all, he is the young master of the inner city. Hey, it's because he is the big brother of the inner city that I dare not default on the debt, right? Tao Yu's words also made Master Jin a little speechless. It seems to be the case, but it's not right. How can you be the strong party to make demands? We can negotiate the conditions. It's fine as long as everyone has the same goal. Master Jin hesitated for a moment, and didn't dare to promise anything. That's right. Let's sit down and talk. Everything can be solved. Tao Yu is a genius in our gym. He will become a true disciple soon. We can't treat him unfairly. Louis also spoke up to help Tao Yu. Obviously, the words of the director of Wanlu Gym put Master Jin under more pressure. Does Wanlu Gym want to intervene in this muddy water? TSK, I'm afraid it will really cost some blood. Master Jin, let's be frank. You can tell Brother Wainua directly that we, the mudlegs in the outer city, can only risk our lives if we want to climb up, and we don't care about risking our lives. But I finally got an A-level talent, the hope of my whole family, and I want a good price for risking my life. Tao Yu's words were righteous, but also reasonable. After all, he was a young man from the inner city. In order to save his life, he could always offer some decent benefits, right? Anyway, pay first and get the benefits first. As for whether to go or not, I am a man of my word, and I will take money to help people get rid of disasters, but if the employer dies early, there is nothing I can do about not being able to go, right? Chapter 99. It's settled. You are listening at NovelsReturning. I will pass on Brother Tao's words, but how much benefit you can get depends on how valuable you are. Master Jin still said goodbye and left. He couldn't make the decision. Director, it's getting late. I'll go back first. After Master Jin left, Tao Yu also said goodbye to Lu Yi. Be careful on the road. I'll pay attention. Come over when you're free these few days. I'll announce your status as a true disciple. Lu Yi patted Tao Yu's shoulder. Thank you, Director. I will. Tao Yu took some chi-boosting pills and then left Wanlu Dojo. After leaving the dojo, he noticed that someone was watching him, but he didn't care. The sky was already dark, and the gray fog on the horizon was even more gloomy. The dark environment combined with bullet time, as long as you stay alert, the safety in the outer city is still high enough, but Tao Yu didn't think that Waino, who wanted to find him to participate in the rescue work, would choose to be unwise and use force directly. Sure enough, those people seemed to be just watching secretly, and then said something on the intercom. When Tao Yu left the fortress, he saw a large punk motorcycle similar to Panda's, driving directly from the street. Compared with Panda's motorcycle, This one was even equipped with some additional weapons. There were rotary machine guns on both sides of the front, spikes on the side of the motorcycle's tires, and steel plates for impact in front. It was obviously just two wheels, but it had a sense of violence like a tank. Wearing a jacket, Wino, who was only slightly smaller than Panda, was sitting in the driver's seat with a tired face and a little haggard. There was still a cigar in his mouth, and the cuticle on his face still looked so hideous. After seeing Tao Yu, Wino nodded. To my surprise, you have also learned the 5 forms of Wanlu. Come on, let's talk about your reward. After saying that, he stopped the motorcycle directly. The heavy feeling of being able to stop on the tires without feet and brackets made Tao Yu look at it twice. Looking back around, some members of the Wild Wolf gang have begun to clear the area and drive away some ordinary people who were watching nearby, and no one dared to say anything. Brother Wino, you are healed. I was so worried when I saw you when I came back. Tao Yu greeted Wino with a smile, which made Wino's mouth twitch. Although he was young and frivolous, and he disliked Tao Yu because of his talent before, he still knew his own family. This guy was eager to let him die. You haven't paid back the money you owed Joseph. Wino spoke softly, as if he wanted to control Tao Yu. When Tao Yu and his followers ran away, he had no way to do anything. After all, they had not yet entered the cannon fodder sequence. The reason why he could restrain them was all due to his status and strength. If they really ran away, it would not be a handle, but Tao Yu borrowed money for real. I paid it back. Tao Yu didn't respond to the other party at all. Anyway, he owed Joseph, and there was no evidence. Although for the superiors, many things do not require evidence, Tao Yu is not afraid of such unfounded excuses now. You don't owe me anything. I don't care that you haven't paid it back, but it doesn't prevent me from telling Joseph's parents. Then go ahead. Tao Yu is completely fearless. Now this guy needs his help. In the past, he had to endure and be humble when facing Weinua, but now, why? Weinua was also a little speechless about Tao Yu's performance. He was very honest before. Why did he become so slippery? But it was in the abyss, and the environment was indeed different. It was not a big deal to kill the other party at that time. Now that he is in the world, he is really in trouble. Otherwise, he would not arrange the Wild Wolf gang to come forward. He originally wanted to do something shady, but the other party didn't know what to do to persuade the director of Wanlu Dojo. In addition, his uncle who was the acting deputy captain, it was really a bit difficult to start for a while. I can keep silent, and even help your deputy captain uncle to remove the agent, but you have to help me. Vino really couldn't say these things. It would not benefit him at all. He just wanted to use these to control Tao Yu. So what you mean is that you can also make some efforts to let uncle who keep the title of agent. Tao Yu could also hear the hidden meaning in the other party's words. To put it bluntly, these two news are still trying to get something for nothing. It seems that there is really no money. I didn't say that. Oh, that's my misunderstanding. I believe in uncle whose ability. He also has his own connections. If no one messes up, he will definitely be promoted sooner or later. Tao Yu didn't show the rabbit until he saw the eagle. Since he spent time coming here, instead of just raising a big flag to settle it directly, he naturally wanted to see tangible benefits. The transportation cooperation with Panda is guaranteed to earn 100,000 willpower in the first month. To put it bluntly, Tao Yu was too lazy to do anything to save face if there were few benefits. And just let him fend for himself. It's death anyway, no difference. What do you want? Finally, Wano closed his eyes and spoke, relying on the Wild Wolf gang, coercion and some verbal promises. He has already pulled a team from the outer city, but he knows how difficult the aliens are. It's meaningless to rely on a group of rabble. There must be a backbone. He can't do anything to the people in the inner city. He can only ask 2 buddies to help at a higher price, and it's hard to find better stuff in the outer city. In terms of cost performance, the A-level, dynamic vision, that can quickly improve combat power is quite suitable for that environment. That kind of beast is good at sneak attacks, and this kind of high-level perception talent is really indispensable. It is not much less important than the 2 buddies who were hired at a high price. If I fail to detect the aliens in advance, the 2 Buddies would also die if they were attacked. I lack a good weapon. It would be best if I could kill them with one blow. And there should be aliens that parasitize you, right? They must be very strong, and there are also those giant python aliens. Tao Yu spoke directly, and took out the suggestions that Sun Shiyu gave him on the spot. Okay. Vano nodded and agreed. The stronger Tao Yu's strength, the greater the possibility of saving himself. A-level, dynamic vision, is indeed worthy of a good gun. There are some other skills. You see, I have been learning the 5 forms of 10,000 flows recently, and I haven't spent much time practicing shooting, so I lack some advanced shooting skills, and my willpower is not enough to accelerate learning. Now that the other party has let go, Tao Yu will naturally tear it up bit by bit. Okay, I can find you shooting skills and support you with a willpower as a reward. Vino took a deep breath and agreed, because this can also increase the possibility of saving himself, even if his heart is bleeding. He has to agree first, thinking that after paying the rewards to the 2 buddies, the burden is already very heavy, and now there is an additional expenditure. I am afraid that my family will not tolerate him much. This requires me to lose face and borrow some high-interest loans from outside. The key is that it is difficult to borrow high-interest loans in my current situation. And I am now in the place where the new gathering place is selected. It will take about 1.5 months of training time to temper myself to the extreme before setting out to save you. Brother Vino can hold on, right? Tao Yu made another request. This request is a vaccination. In case there is no chance to solve the debt problem, it will not delay his own business. Tao Yu does not think that he is a smart person who can come up with a perfect and meticulous plan. For him, it is better to prepare more so-called plans, and adjust them flexibly according to different actual situations. 1.5 months. Plus the time for traveling, how can this be possible? Wayno was already a little annoyed. That can't be helped. I also accepted a task from the eldest lady of the Sun family. If it doesn't work out, I can only apologize. Tao Yu's words directly silenced Wayno, and he looked at him with a look of doubt. Miss Sun directly issued a task to you. Yes, or when I hand in the task, I will go to them to beg for mercy and let them save you, Tao Yu said curiously. No, now the new gathering place is in ruins, how can it be worth the trouble of 2 big men? Wayno waved his hands repeatedly. In his heart, of course, he hoped that the 2 of them could really help, but, now he really doesn't deserve it. He has poor talent and was caught by the alien. Now he can't even escape by himself. This kind of waste is looking for 2 big men in the floating city to help him. Why do you ask? Rashly making such an inappropriate request may make the family give up on him. Okay, I agree to your request. I will also invite 2 friends to come with me. The group of teams from the outer city will also gather at the gathering place, and then you can gather and set off. Chapter 100 The Effect of Meditation. You are listening at NovelsReturning. Although it's not a wishing item, it's still pretty good. It's worthy of being an inner city item. Tao Yu looked at the multifunctional rifle with a sci-fi feel in his hand, and his face was full of admiration. Early the next morning, Master Jean delivered the goods to his door with sincerity. At 200, the model of this gun is a bit boxy in appearance and feels a bit bloated, but the corners have a streamlined feel. Load 2 magazines at the same time, AP rounds, and he rounds. The shuttle contains 50 AP rounds and 10 small grenades. The most important thing is that the bullets used have a high range. The effective range of AP bullets can reach 800 meters, and the ballistics are accurate. When equipped with a scope, it can be used as a sniper rifle, or it can be fired continuously. The range of small grenades can also reach 200 meters. The main thing is a comprehensive function. It can be said that it is a multifunctional rifle that is quite suitable as a main weapon. It's enough for the pistol to have, Warlord's gun, but this one is complementary. Tao Yu assembled the scope, raised the gun and quickly aimed it a few times. It was very smooth to use. The disadvantage is that AP shells cost 3 willpower points per shot, and he shells cost 10 willpower points per shot. It's definitely not necessary to clean up zombies. At this time, the advantage of Warlord equipped gun, that can slowly restore air bullets becomes apparent. In addition, Tao Yu also has a set of willpower absorption skills in front of him. This set of skills is attached to 20 bullets, but Tao Yu estimates that he can absorb 10 bullets by himself. Each bullet only has about 10 points of willpower. After absorbing it, you get an intuitive shot, intuitive shooting, LV1. You can use your feeling to hit high-hitting attacks. The higher the shooting base, the stronger the mental power, the better the effect. There is no doubt that this is a shooting skill with the characteristics of willingness, and the auxiliary effect is very good, and it is very practical. The cost of deification is not expensive, only a little over 100. Tao Yu completed the deification without hesitation. Intuitive shooting modification, LV1, can discern the best shooting position on the enemy, and can attach mental power to bullets, can be superimposed. It is similar to the deification of basic shooting, but it has the added ability to discern the best shooting point, and the instinct of shooting based on feeling has also been strengthened. Although Tao Yu didn't take the initiative to do much training in shooting abilities, with the blessing of his talent and this new skill, he thought he could be compared to a highly talented pioneer specializing in shooting skills. No wonder people say that dynamic vision takes shape quickly. With a good gun and a few skills, it can deal explosive damage at will and become a mobile turret. After that, there is a magnetic card with 5,000 wishes. Better than nothing. Tao Yu raised her hand to absorb the wish power of the magnetic card. After confirming the harvest, she also said to Master Jean, who came to deliver the goods, "The things have been received. Master Jean, please take them back. You have been fighting with the skeleton gang recently. Please pay attention to safety. I'm going to practice my shooting skills and get familiar with the firearms." The tall Master Jean also showed a relaxed smile at this time and said, "Brother Tao, you will be our own from now on. Don't worry, we are the main attackers against the skeleton gang. Master Weinoa has been sitting here recently." "Oh, that's it. With Brother Weinoa here, I can really sit back and relax." Tao Yu waved her hands with a smile and watched Master Jean leave. Would it be too obvious if every time someone who was my enemy was exterminated for no apparent reason? I don't need evidence for speculation. Tao Yu leaned against the door and watched Master Jin's leaving figure, thinking in her mind, it seems that there isn't much of a problem at the moment. The Li family was silenced by the collaborators because of the secret of the blood orchid. What does it have to do with me, a pitiful, weak and helpless person from the outer city? The Wild Wolf gang and the Skeleton gang forced by Wei Noa were too impatient, and that had nothing to do with me. I was their collaborator and partner. Today, just practice meditation. Now the improvement effect is obvious. Yesterday, Tao Yu went a hand in a task and went to the dojo when something happened. In terms of actual efficiency, the meditation technique he just acquired is still more efficient. By increasing the speed of mental recovery and combining it with the concentration necklace, you can escape into the shadows for a longer time and save money. Looking at the motorcycles placed in the room and the simple beds that had just been reassembled, Tao Yu also felt that he had to take some time to renovate his home. However, he still sat cross-legged on the bed and started practicing meditation. Once you become proficient, you should be able to use meditation and breathing together. Although it consumes a lot of willpower, it saves time. While Tao Yu was thinking in his mind, a visualization picture appeared in his mind. With the concentration of mental power, Tao Yu relied on the visualization diagram to successfully subdue the scattered thoughts and complete the unity of will. Then he used the thoughts as a hammer to continuously grind the mental power. It was as if there was a harsh crunching sound echoing in my mind, and my mental power was constantly being squeezed, forged, and ground by thoughts. Thoughts were like gears, and my mental power was like lubricating oil mixed with sand. Every time you rub it, it becomes purified. Because he had just started meditating, and with the consumption of hundreds of willpower per hour, Tao Yu fully felt the explosive improvement period when he first learned the breathing method. He even couldn't help but adjust the speed of his wish to 200. The feeling that every time he polished it, it was like wiping away the dust on the mirror, making his thoughts clearer, which made Tao Yu unable to stop. As expected, extraordinary abilities are involved. Time passed unknowingly, and when Tao Yu opened his eyes, the sky had begun to darken. Because he had agreed with his family not to disturb him, Tao Yu practiced very smoothly. My mind has never been as clear as this moment. However, as Tao Yu's practice ended, a feeling of weakness suddenly came from his body, which almost made his eyesight go dark. Fortunately, mental immunity completely stabilized this backlash. When Tao Yu lowered his head, he was shocked to find that his originally strong body had become as skinny as a scrap of bones. This is... Tao Yu was horrified in his heart. He had one permanent certificate, and could use it with almost all his strength as long as he still had physical strength. This was the first time he felt such weakness. It's as if the stamina bar is about to be empty, and he will fall to the ground immediately. If it hadn't been for the second deification of the breathing method to swallow the free energy to hold the last bit, he would probably be unable to move now. Then Tao Yu thought of what Sun Shiyu reminded him when he taught him. The spirit feeds back with qi and blood. You have already captured the qi and blood, which can have an auxiliary effect, but you have to be careful not to overdo it. Forget it, with your current level, you don't have to worry about this. Then Tao Yu endured the soreness in her body and directly used 100 willpower to replenish it to a certain extent, pulling up a little like running water, then relying on the battery life of one permanent certificate. I directly took out 2 sticks of nutritional paste and squeezed it into my mouth, digesting it quickly. With the filling of the nutritional cream, Tao Yu felt the warmth of her body again, and her energy and blood began to recover. After my body felt a little better, I started to eat all the qi-boosting pills I bought yesterday, and started to use qi and blood to activate Tanjin Gong for rapid digestion. I almost had to rely on the power of my will to recover directly. Tao Yu felt a little relieved in her heart as she felt that Tenjin Kung Fu quickly absorbed the effectiveness of Qi-Bu Qi pills, quickly replenishing and repairing herself. The effect of my own training is too strong. Ordinary meditation skills are fine, but after my deification and the acceleration of 200 per hour, combined with the explosive period of improvement, one day of practice almost drained me dry. Because of his lack of experience, coupled with the rapid improvement and changes in his mental side, he was too involved and neglected his body. Fortunately, I can use my willpower and food to remedy the situation, otherwise it would be really embarrassing. This should be due to the newly increased window period, but the effect is indeed strong. Tao Yu's eyes seemed to be really glowing, and his body was filling up slowly but continuously. Then he raised his finger, pulled out a piece of hair and put it in front of his eyes. As I let go, the hair actually hung in the air and never fell again. Unfortunately, this is just a passive effect brought by meditation technique change. It is a reflection of the tempering of thoughts and mental power to a certain extent. It has no practical value for the time being, but the superimposed increase in fist intention is definitely there, as well as the spirit additional bullets. Thinking of Sun Shiyu's terrifying outburst of telekinesis, it should have been caused by the combination of talent and skills. Meditation is not an attack skill, it is just a sign that your mental side has improved enough throughout the day, in addition to the passive effects of increasing one's mental limit and faster thinking speed. To actually use it, one has to rely on the talent, fist intent, and skills such as additional bullets. As all the chi boosting pills he bought were digested, Tao Yu's body recovered again, but there was still some blood loss on his face, so he took 2 more nutritious ointments that were more effective but definitely more expensive. I still bought too few qi boosting pills. If I have the money now, I think it would be fine to buy 100 of them and put them on my body. At least it's much more cost-effective than using my willpower to recover. After taking 2 more nutritional ointments, Tao Yu finally recovered. Then he slowly stood up and moved his body, which made a creaking sound. Now there are 2 skills that can add mental impact to bullets. Coupled with the refinement of meditation, the effect should be stronger. Tao Yu made a few stretching movements and made a sound like a bowstring. Looking at the darkening sky outside, my eyes began to darken. Time to test it out.